Master Breeder. What I'd like to ask Jersey Australia Vice President Jeff Akers to come up and assist with the presentations. Our second Master Breeder tonight is pleased to announce it's Lisa and Lynton Broad of Broadland, Jersey.
Didn't get warned how this program was going to work, but anyway, I'm going to say a few words about Lynton and Lisa first, and then Jeff will present the award. But where do you start and where do you end with Broadland? Broadland was established in 1961 from my records, which is 62 years ago, by a kid that was born to arguably the most famous family of people that have ever been in the Jersey breed. His father, Reg, had Francliff. There wouldn't be a Jersey breeder around the world that didn't know who Francliff was. And I can certainly vouch for that. You know, I went to North America the first time in 1985 as a kid, and I travelled all over Canada and the USA, and was quite often asked, because I was an Australian in North America, do you know Reg Broad? They did. So he had a great background. And I don't think I've met too many people that I enjoy talking about cows to more than Lynton Broad. His knowledge of dairy cows is pretty incredible. His good wife Lisa has been federal president, as we well know, for a fair few years, and she also received the Power of Woman Award at IDW. Lynton is classified, he's been a judge, and he received the coveted Lex Bunn Award at International Dairy Week. I first recall Lynton Broad at Melbourne Show. When I was a kid in 1976, he was in charge of the Francliff Broadland team. And you know, I think back about the kind of cows that he showed that era, they were different. They were different because they were milky. And he never ever swayed away from those sort of cows. They were different because they had other texture which cows in the breed quite often didn't have. They were so soft and silky. And Broadland certainly bred some tremendous cows. And that first year that I remember being at Melbourne Show in 76, in the team he had a cow called Third and Glenn's Constance. She got third in the 4-year-old milk. The next year she won the 5-year-old, and she was the foundation of the family that's bred some bulls that have done an incredible job in recent times. We talk about a bull called Aussie Gold, we talk about a bull called Pole Gold, and we talk about a cow called Constance 2565 that won the Great Southern in 2011 as a 3-year-old, but was grand champion of the whole competition. And then the next year she backed up and won the 4-year-old. Another great cow that they had great success with in the Great Southern competition was a Laugh-A-Lot Vanessa cow who won the 4-year-old. And then they won the Great Australian with the Constance 2565 cow. I think of the tremendous cows that Lynton Broad has shown over the years, and you think of those wonderful Ilito 13, and she was a Sambo that was flat out ridiculous, off the clock good. And she was a dam of a cow called Ilito 28 that I remember we sold at a flash sale in Leongatha for a lot of money in the 80s, $12,000 I reckon it was. 1987 on stage. Now I think of some illusion cows that Broadland had, and I can't stop thinking about a couple of cows that Lindsay Wilson judged Melbourne Show in 1990, and he made mother and daughter Illusion 79 and her daughter Illusion 99, who was a Meadowlawn Bright Spot 60D. They both won their class the same day, and I'm not all that sure that Illusion 99 cow might still be the greatest cow ever to wear the Broadland name tag. Ahead of a time, and that's what Lynton Broad was. He used Canadian bull like Bright Spot when no one else was. In fact, it was a dirty word. And I can still see those milky cows that were by that bull at Broadland. And then remembering the year at Melbourne Show in 1992 when Larry Sherm judged, changed the breed, full stop that day. And Lisa Letta cow got reserve, and her name was Illusion, I can't remember her number, 116. She was a top brass and got reserve champion cow and was flat out stupid milk and a proper dairy cow. And then you think about the cow that Lisa had Echo Downs Bubbles, remember her? It was before Dairy Week. The Jersey breed had Jersey Showcase. She was champion cow at Tatura. I'm going to say 95 and 96. Lornella from Rockella and Janet Stiles, I think, judged and both made a champion cow. I remember leading a cow for the late Graham Plant that one year, and I was right behind her, and a great mentor of mine, Des Valence, was sitting on the outside, and he looked at me as if to say, well, you're not going to beat that cow in front of you, and sure enough I did. Her back bag was that ridiculous wide, and it had, I can still see a motley bag cow with texture like you wouldn't believe. Broadland have bred some marvellous cows. They're the number 23 BPI herd in the breed and currently have the number 7 and 8 cow. Recently they had 5 cows score excellent 92. I guess the Beryl 3028 just a couple of years ago went excellent 94. But their influence of their bulls that have been used in the industry, certainly in recent times, has been certainly outstanding. Bulls like Hatman, the Aussie Gold, Pole Gold, and now Broadway is the number 1 type bull in the breed, and then Hilux is an elite sire. The success they've had at International Dairy Week has been outstanding, and we can't stop thinking about the day that Hank Van Exel from California judged. Ross Easterbrook was on the lead strap of a cow called Illusion 2817. She was the second calf 3-year-old. He made her intermediate champion. She was just incredible. I can tell you now, because in those days I had a bit to do with Dairy Week, Van Exel walked over to me. He said, I'm going to make that intermediate grand champion unless she breaks a leg in the next couple of hours. He loved her that much. He'd made up his mind the minute he made a grand intermediate, he was going to make a grand. And then she came back a few years later, and Pat Nicholson made a best udder, made a reserve champion cow. Broadland have had grand champion at Dairy Week. They've had reserve. In 18 and 19, the day I judged, they had that Vanessa cow. Crikey, her udder was just madness, it was that good. Tremendous cow that was 93, and then Gavin had reserve champion cow this year. I could go on forever about the great things that Lynton Broad and his family, Broadland Jerseys, have done and continue to do for Australia. It's a great privilege to be able to talk about people and breeders like this. Thank you and congratulations.
Thanks, Brian. Bit hard to remember what to say after all that what Brian given us, but thanks, Jersey Australia. It certainly is an honour to be presented with this award. We have Lisa's mum here tonight. I'm sure Lisa's dad, along with my parents, would have been extremely happy tonight to see what's happened with their two families. Broadland has been lucky along the way. When Broadland started, we started with some of the great cow families from Frankcliffe, mainly Illusion and Oligay cows, which are represented in everything that happens, with the bulls and stuff at the moment. Forgotten what I was going to say now. Anyway, I'd like to thank Lisa, Tony, Gavin and Cassie for what they have done over the years and still do. It's nice to have the younger generation like Gavin coming on, the people here tonight that have young ones coming on, and Tony's involved as well. Sort of makes it all worthwhile. One thing I was going to say, about 40 years ago was probably the most exciting thing that happened to me as a Jersey breeder was when we started using the North American semen. It just put that much excitement into the breed for everyone, I think. And that'll probably do. I've forgotten the rest. Okay, thanks.